Hey gang, so it's been quite a while since my last video, I think maybe 5 months ago with the white tea and ginger, but I'm back with 3 or 4 videos. I want to share with you a couple of finds I've had over the past, I guess, month or so. If you don't watch my other channel, The Gentleman Next Door, you may not know that recently relocated from New York City to Northern Virginia. It's a huge life change, but one pro/con, I guess, of that is that there's actually a couple of test stores in the DC metro area. So I now have a little more access to some, scents that are testing or releasing early or whatnot than I have in the past couple of years. Now, with that, I don't think that these stores are full-on conceptual. The show 78 was telling me about, Ohio and Atlanta may have ones that are even more tests that kind of bring out really like the super weird or rare things, whereas this one is kind of more general candles that they're testing or releasing collections early. But there are some finds in there. So I got this first video up for you, which is just one candle from that desert collection. Now I'm trying to buy less than I used to. There were actually a couple that I really liked in the collection. It was a true, cohesive, unique, a lot of new, a couple of repackages in the collection, but overall really interesting and kind of a bummer that it looks like it never went anywhere. They were originally testing this very early in the year and then took the candles off the floor, then probably 3-4 weeks ago put them back on the floor. Now they're off again. I know that some locations had lidless for the first round of it, and then they came out with lids that had sort of a similar pattern to this embossed in the silver metal. My location just had the old candles. They weren't new pours, and you know that just by, if you look at the code. I think a lot of folks know this at this point. If you look at the code on the bottom of the candle, which at some point should focus. My goodness, that is terrible, isn't it? And all right, give me a break. Okay, so the code right here, where it says 6069, so that means 2016 on the 69th day. So literally what? The 69th day was the first week of March or so, is when this was first poured, and then so tested much earlier this year, but never saw the light of day wide. So this collection included, I think there were about maybe 8 candles in this. I know this is mostly old news, but if you want my take on it, that's what I'm here for. So we've got here the Adobe Sunset. There was also Mojave Sands, Cactus Lily, Wild Sage and Aloe, Sedona Sandstone, Desert Heat, Desert Rain. Really interesting things. They were all the frosted glass with this sort of Southwest influenced desert labeling. It was weird, but I kind of liked it. I really enjoyed the Wild Sage and Aloe. I would have bought it, but looking into the fall transitional scents, it was a little too palm leaf green for me, and I didn't want to stock it up. The one thing with the move to Virginia is we're staying with in-laws for a while, probably a good 8+ months, so most of my candle collection is in storage right now, so don't want to keep adding to it here, and then also it's hard for me to do these kind of full-on sniff comparison reviews like I've done in the past, so bear with me there. But there were some really interesting ones in there that I hope come out in one form or another at some point. But just briefly to give you a quick rundown, if you haven't already seen other videos with this, of the Adobe Sunset, I really liked this one. And you see here, I think it's an interesting label. So they've got, it's just a thin, standard paper label. I don't know, this usually has much better focus. I can't get this. Okay. And then there's a slight hint of, you can see there, metallic to it, which is a nice touch. So Adobe Sunset, you've got just the dust cover there. I burned this, I think, maybe twice. Really good throw on it. And the notes on this one read, a spectacular crimson and orange desert sun is captured by a blend of warm spices, sandalwood, and vibrant orange zest. Not usually the biggest sandalwood fan. Sometimes I think it blankets you and it really overpowers you. But in this case, it really works nicely. So sniffing this, the biggest things it reminds me of, let's see, here's the dust cover. Initially, it's warm, it's spicy and warm, but it's complex, and it's not overly spicy. It's not, a lot of people think that these kind of candles venture into, hashtag cologne. I don't think so. In this case, I think it's just a true conceptual blend. There's a real sweetness with the zest. Maybe it's orange, maybe it's whatever. I don't really get sandalwood. I just get something kind of earthy and dry, which, okay, is probably the sandalwood, but it's a much toned down version of sandalwood, and definitely those warm spices. And I don't know exactly truly which ones, because it's not a spiced candle like a spiced holiday or something. To me, what's funny is it actually reminded me of two things. First of all, I think it could possibly be a repackage of, this was from Cork and Vine 2015, failed test scent. I think it was, what was it? Spiced Sonoma Citrus. It was in I think a deep orange wax. I bought one of them that I saw, I think probably December SAS or something like that, on sale. Really, really liked it. Similar thing, I don't know the notes that were on that one. You can, I'm sure, research on Instagram or Google to find that. But it's really kind of that similar, that citrus is there, the spices are there. It also is vaguely reminiscent for anyone who's been around for, years and years. Something I loved in, I think, 2012, it had to be 2012, Spring Market Test Collection, which was spiced papaya. That's when the, like, honeydew and thyme and blackberry, what was it? Sage and cucumber, blackberry. I don't even remember what that was, but it was amazing and never burned. But that collection where there were a ton of interesting test scents, there was a spiced papaya that was similar to this. So again, it goes to just citrus fruits and spices. Could almost potentially come out maybe as a tweaked sort of winter holiday candle. I wouldn't mind it because I really do like the scent. It throws wonderfully. It does have those wicks that you can see here kind of droop, but I really like it. It's one of the candles that if I wasn't trying to limit myself, I would probably have purchased two of them just because I do like it so much. But hopefully they'll come back around, maybe, some annual sale in December at 75% off or something like that. Because a couple weeks ago in the DC area test stores, they were packing them up and there were piles and piles and piles of them that they were getting rid of to put out, pumpkins and Halloween and all of that. So that's the quick review on that. The one other thing it reminds me of just vaguely is one of the Atelier colognes, which we reviewed over on the Gentleman Next Door channel. And that one is the Santal Carmine, which I believe does have some sandalwood, perhaps. Off the top of my head, I don't remember all the notes, but you can check out that channel for a little more in depth on that one. But it also carried saffron, which wouldn't surprise me if there was a little bit of saffron in here. Really a true conceptual complex blend that does not just go in the standard, I think in the summer collections with their bergamot waters and all of their various, midnight blue citrus and even things like flannel, which I know some people love, but I don't when you're getting into the fall ones. A lot of those kind of conceptual scents do lean true cologne-y and just kind of feel a little generic, whereas this does have a really nice, I think it's very unique to it and could fit in many situations. So we've got it here. I like it. Probably will burn it a few more times this fall, but might save it for something in like the transitional, even through the spring or almost a year-round scent. So that is that. Stay tuned. Going to have some reviews on the new marble candles as well as the metallic leaf collection that was just released recently in early September. And until next time, take care.